Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'm going to be doing a space build influenced heavily by the Friends Space Academy and these lovely 1x1 glitter bricks. Let's get started. Good. Well, it's been quite a while since I took an official Lego set and gave it a big overhaul in the Robin Hood Bricks style. But the set 41713, Olivia's Space Academy, is one that I've been dying to get my hands on. Mainly because of two things, the sort of modern building with the lovely trans purple glass, which looks stunning on its own, but secondly because of that awesome 3D sign on the front of it, with all of the gold kind of hose pieces with signs clipped on them to represent all the planets going around their orbit. I thought that was an incredible build and something I desperately wanted in my city. However, I've already got a great big space tower and we'll be making it even greater and even more towering when it's finished, that will go in the corner, and that's kind of the focal point of the Alien Conquest attack scene where all the Alien Conquest aliens are coming in and the ADU's trying to defend it and all the rest of it, and we'll have the drop pods incorporated and all the rest of it, aliens absolutely everywhere. So this will have to be quite separate. So rather than have it sort of being a sub-launch site and stuff like that, I'm just going to take the Academy part of the Space Academy more seriously and have it as a distinct building where future ADU employees and astronauts and all the rest are doing their early training. So that means I can have it somewhere else in the city looking quite different and being quite detached without any duplication. So I didn't want to buy that set. Because although it's got half of the pieces I need in it, none of them were that hard to get hold of. And well, there's loads of elements of that set that I don't need at all. So as soon as I'd got the most important thing secured, which was the sticker sheet with all those lovely planets for that frontal sign, the Space Academy logo there, some stars for the windows, and a few probably that I don't need for the shuttle and so on, then I knew I could go ahead. So that's secure. We've got several elements to consider. The main one, of course, obviously is that building, originally on 3 stories with kind of a gantry dropping down from the very top floor to allow astronauts to get onto that shuttle. But I don't need that connection, as I've just explained. And 3 stories, I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite tall enough to me. So I think I'm going to go higher and make it 4 stories instead, definitely incorporating that sign as intended, but maybe trying to get some more of these glitter bricks in to represent sort of the starry backdrop. I mean, there's a few of these bigger star stickers here on the front, but these will represent the more distant stars. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. Then we've got the observatory, which is kind of a separate sub-build, which is quite small and quite blue, which I'm not sure if I like. So I think I'm going to convert that to white, and I think I'm going to try and stick it right on the roof. It won't really have stair access to it, but then none of the floors, other floors will either, so not really a problem. And I have to kind of work out whether I'm going to be using it as a facade or not, but I think it'll be pretty much built in the same way regardless. Then the original set came with some kind of training equipment outside with, the sort of spinning devices and so on. Nope, just going to ignore that one entirely. Also going to totally ignore the pink trimmed NASA space shuttle, which I don't like at all. I don't think it's even the best shuttle build we've had by a long stretch. It's no doubt for some sort of groundbreaking woman-only space flight with that colouring on, if you ask me. Blech, don't want that. There's a cool, tiny little satellite, which I like very much. Yes, please. I'll try and incorporate that in mine, even if it's just inside being worked on. And then finally, there was Olivia, of course, and all of her mini doll pals, which I don't need at all. They have to go. And it turns out that Olivia clearly is actually a Bezos sort of Musk-esque sort of billionaire going into space with her own space academy. I just thought she was a schoolgirl or something like that. But anyway, who knew? So yeah, that's my plan. Focus on the building, make it bigger, make it more decorated, and make it really interesting on the inside, getting rid of some of the Friends colouring, and then stick the satellite on the inside and the observatory on the top. So, sounds like an awesome plan. Let's get started with the ground floor. Now, I don't know exactly where this building is going to go in my city, so essentially I've kind of made its footprint on a spare base plate. with some tiles in front, just so I can kind of lift it up and put it in different places and try it out. It will be open backed, so it'll either have to back onto a standing hole or be somewhere where you can't see it from the main viewing angle. At least that lets in the light so we can see all of the scenes. Or, as I said, it will be up against the wall as a facade. But yeah, this just makes it really versatile for now. And the original set used this lovely blue colour as the ground floor, and I think I'll do the same thing. And it also had a sliding door as its entry point, which I can also keep even if it is a facade against the wall. And I thought I would make the base of that sliding door even more spacey by using some of the lovely kind of minifigure stands that came with the recent Space series minifigures of Series 26 and incorporate them into the tiling level above the base plates. I'm going to need one more, so I'll have to throw these people that I carefully arranged onto their backs. But that looks very fun indeed. And the recent Dungeons and Dragons one had some patterned base plates as well for their minifigures, so I'm going to try and incorporate those with the sort of stone flagstone sort of pattern into another build. But that looks pretty good if you ask me, but I need to give it a lip, so we'll add a couple of 1x6 tiles in there, also in black. And then yeah, that looks like a nice sort of well, trip hazard for one to be fair, but also a nice sort of spacey theme for the entryway. So I was very happy with that. Maybe I'll make it even wider using a fourth one and just have it going past these kind of bits that stop the sliding door from vanishing off. So yeah, that goes in there and will be held in place with one of these pieces. So essentially it can do this sort of a slide. Very nice. And then we'll put a regular plate in there, and then hopefully it can't go beyond that point, which it can't. So that's good. That works well. Then we need some sides with the start of that lovely curved sort of white modern looking frontage that I really like, with the sort of tower with the sign on that side. That's right, put that there. And this one's slightly different on the other side. I've kind of modified literally every single floor and every single thing, so it looks great on both side profiles, and yeah, changed the heights and absolutely everything. But essentially, it is very heavily drawing on the original set just because I liked it so much. But another change I did was actually change the colour of the first floor, so it was in this dark blue colour, so they're all the same. But before I start covering it all up, I better put in a small interior for the kind of reception level. So I've just got one of the many stickers that you can stick on a 2x2 sign. I mean, I was really spoiled for choice. You can have sort of galaxies and whirling things and space stations and stuff like that. But I thought those would be more useful in all sorts of different places, or even just decorating walls higher up this tower. So I thought the one that looked most like a sort of TV screen that people might be watching are these two minifigure hands going for the satellite dish. So I think I'll put that in the corner there, maybe with that at an angle so we can see that from everywhere. And then we'll put in a couple of space chairs for people to sit on. And maybe we've got one of our staff in here waving new entrants in and welcoming them to the Space Academy and to watch the sort of intro video or something like that. So maybe we'll have her still waving in this position here. She's got a nice space logo on her back. Looks really good with that hidden side hairpiece. So that's really nice. So now I think we can kind of box it in. I mean, the ground floor is always the most boring because you can't really see it as much as all the others, but you know, I think that still looks pretty good. And maybe we'll come back to it and add some more of those stickers to the insides of these panels later. So that's firmly on there. And there we go. Sliding door. Yep, check. Space Stars outside bit. Check. And interior with space colleague. Yes, check. So I think we've done the ground floor. Now we need to continue upwards. Okay, so moving on to the second floor, and we've got a slightly wider section on the left to accommodate part of that 3D vertical sign and pillar, and we're white on this side and dark blue on that side, so that's quite interesting. And we've also got these headlight bricks all along the front with their white clips to hold on to what will be the gold hoses that represent the orbits for all of those planets. And earlier when I mentioned that all of the parts were quite easy to get hold of, actually these weren't. Yeah, so this is where you need to focus if you want to do something similar, getting these 3 different lengths and 2 of the medium one. Basically, I had to find somebody who'd clearly parted out the set because they had all of the purple panels as well in order to get them. So yeah, maybe this is what you should focus on first. But anyway, we've got those secured, so we can move on to, first of all, hiding all of those clips with a 1x16 brick from the front perspective, and adding in a curve to come up to the lovely vertical sign with some more stickers on, this time saying Space Academy. And I just love the mirror rainbow kind of look. It really fits with this build. And this sort of curve here and this curve up here are really good details, if you ask me. 1, 2 plates and the brick height of the curved section there being exactly the same as the 2 studs horizontally, meaning you've got this really, I don't know, it's kind of Art Deco sort of shape here that I absolutely love. I must try and remember how, to incorporate that in a future build, because I think it's really effective, especially there, that sort of uniform white band going around that corner. Love it. So then we need to add some sides as well. So we've got another panel in there that might get a sticker later. Some bricks on this side, and then some more of the clips, this time on the vertical sort of pillar. So those will connect with the first 2 there, and we'll have 2 more even higher up to attach to the next section. Which way does that go? It goes like that, doesn't it? And then underneath them, we need the sun at the focus of our solar system. And I've changed this build a little bit because, well, A, it had a stud on the top the way they did it, and B, it wasn't sort of as pronounced as this one is. So this is slightly bigger, slightly different shape, and that fits in there. A bit fragile at the moment, so that looks very nice indeed. And then another change that I'm going to do, well, I think I'm going to do, I'll have to get your opinion on it. So we've got 2 of these panels in this lovely trans purple, which give it a really sort of futuristic vibe as well. But I was going to include this 1x2x5 brick to make the distance complete along the front there. But on a recent haul, I was given an absolute load of these pieces, 1x1 bricks with a lovely glitter on, which I think looks a bit like stars. And given we're going to have all the planets sort of flying around here, it would make a lot of sense if we had these on every floor. And well, I've been given enough. So thank you very much to the person who sent those in. They are going to come in use right away. So I'm going to put a column of those on either side, and then we can have the windows like that, I think. So that looks pretty good. Yeah, you have to tell me what you think of that. Is that better than having a 1x2x5? I think it is. I think it's slightly spacey. I kind of like that, so that's good. And then to top off that, I've got some more starry bricks on the dark blue, and they come from the set 40484, Santa's Front Yard from 2021, where that top row of bricks, I got those in a recent haul, and I got them for the same reason, to basically go in here and look very starry as well. So we've got kind of 2 different types of brick doing the same job of making it look even more spacey. So we've got space, space, and space, which looks very cool indeed. Now, when it gets to higher floors, I haven't got any more of these stickers yet, but I might replace them in due course to continue that kind of theme. But it's looking pretty spacey already with those and the sun there, I think. So yeah, we'll need to do another floor before we stick on all of those hose pieces and planets. Then we've got some stuff for the inside. Now, this might be the museum floor, I suppose, because we've got all sorts of stuff for a table. I decided to put a big rocket in, but then I thought, oh, hold on, maybe I'll use this one from the Series 20 Space Fan, because this one does say NASA on it, so maybe it's a bit more interesting than my bog standard black and white one. But I am going to take off the little capsule, which I think of being the return capsule with all the astronauts in, and stick that on the top, like that, the re-entry vehicle, if you will, and then we can put that on our display. Yes, I like that. It's a good combination. And then the original Friends set had a nice little sort of gold detailed satellite, which looks really nice, and I really liked it because it looked very cute. And it kind of had a little 1x2 tile as a solar panel, but I've got some nice glittery ones, and since we're using other glittery stuff in this build, I thought it would go quite well. So this is kind of an octagonal sign piece with this lovely hologrammatic sort of solar panel. So I thought that could clip on a slight variation on the original build and look even more fantastic. Wow, look at that. That looks great. So we'll put that on in there, maybe on the half stud, so we're sort of away from all of the walls a little bit, and there's a gap still between the tables. Does that work? There we go. Oh yes, I like that. Just tilt that up a little bit. There we go. And then I've got another table here. And firstly, I've got this sort of space drill for sort of drilling into rocks and getting samples out and things like that. I thought that was quite fun. And then we've got the magnifying glass, or microscope rather, get it right, with a nice slide on there. And I've got this one from the old school set where we've got some microbes on there. So maybe that is extraterrestrial life, who knows? So we put that on the microscope there, and we'll have that on the half stud as well in there. So it's all just slightly apart from each other. Maybe put that at a jaunty angle and that like that. And then I think that looks really interesting. Very good indeed. Should we have somebody in there as well? Should we have this scientist here giving us a wave? We'll have her hard at work maybe at that microscope there. And that looks pretty good. We'll be able to see that through the window from the front. Very nice. And oh, I love all those stars. We can put the crossbeam on the back, and then we can put the lid on that section of the build as well. Like that. Lovely jubbly. That looks very good indeed. Oh, I love that purple. Wow, that really is a good backdrop to what will be our planet scene. Cool, right. Onwards and upwards. Let's get on with the third floor. Okay, the next floor I think is going to be the office for this crazy guy here. He's a bit of a madcap looking chap, so I thought he could be called Madcap. Professor Madcap McAllister. That's a fun name for him. And he comes up with absolutely wacky space theories, like Brick Nottingham might get under attack from aliens from another world, or maybe there's even a hidden cantina full of all sorts of different aliens somewhere in Brick Nottingham. I mean, absolutely ludicrous ideas, but yeah, that's the sort of wacky stuff he comes up with his crazy hair and beard and so on. So yeah, I really like him. So he can be in there, and this can be his office. So I've done the huge desk setup from the original set with these lovely stickers showing the world map and a swirling galaxy and a space station, mouse, keyboard, and nice metal cup. That looks pretty good. That was quite hard to get, actually, that metal cup. So that can go on the inside in a minute, but we better get the walls in first. So another nice dark blue layer in fact, moved one in. There we go. And a continuation of the other two of those clips to hold on to our orbits. So that goes in there, hidden behind our sign. And then we can do another wall. So yeah, we've got a few stickers left to potentially put on the panels, like this one here, for instance. That's got loads of sort of nebula and stuff on it. Maybe that should be on the museum floor, actually. Another side wall here. And then we're going to put in the same glass as before. Get them the right way around. And our nice columns of glittery bricks. Oh, this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous backdrop, isn't it, for the planets to be going in front of. A few more bricks in there. I think it goes that way around. There we go. Some more dark blue at the top. So I suppose if I do find more of these starred stickers, I can make that starred, and maybe even this starred right up here that we can barely see. There we go. To make it even better backdrop. I don't think it'll really be necessary up there, but I think this strip would be good. So if I can get another set, that would be great. And then the back section on there to support the next bit of roof. Wow, I'm going to have to make the camera a bit higher for the next section, aren't I? So let's put the desk in here, maybe off to one side slightly. Keep it interesting. A nice chair there, and maybe he's just coming back in from lunch to do a bit more wacky space predictions there. But yeah, he's great, isn't he? People like that often wear, wacky trousers or something like that to show off that they're not conventional people. So we can put the lid on that section as well. And then we've done 3 whole floors, and it's looking absolutely smashing. Now we can do our 3D sign on the front now, because we've got all 4 clips down there on that sort of hidden area, and 4 in here hidden as well. But I'm not going to do that with you guys watching, because I think it would be a nightmare, and I have to put all of these stickers onto the sort of sign pieces and these 3x3 round tiles as well. So I'm going to spend some time doing that and arranging it, making it all look lovely, and then we can look at that before doing the next floor up. Oh, that's what inspired me to get this build going. Look at that lovely scene. That is just absolutely perfect. It looked good in the pictures, but it's even better in real life with our improved sun, Mercury, Venus looking very mysterious, Earth and the Moon, and then Mars without its two moons, strangely. But hey ho, I suppose they'd be really small and hard to do. And I've put a couple of the star stickers on to this bit here. I'll probably add a few more once I've got the whole thing done, because I might want to put some on the top bit. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, there more to come. And I've changed the insides a little bit as well. And I've added the museum panel, having all of those pictures of nebula and so on. And on here, I've got the whiteboard with all the workings for Mad Cap's Mad Cap plans. And I've also added the space fan to this floor because, well, it makes more sense her being in the museum rather than a scientist. So that's really good. All visible from the front through the glass. So we can move on to our next floor now. Yeah, that is absolutely great. Love it already. Cool. So the main feature of the next floor is an orrery, which is hard to say, but very good fun in that it's kind of a model of the solar system. So we have our sun, which is this nice kind of lanterny ball type piece that goes through this great big gear via a lift arm. And that goes into a little stand that we can attach to the floor. So that spins around, maybe make it a bit looser. Yeah, there we go. And then into the other end, we can add the connecting little gear. And then I love this detail. You got a couple of the thinner lift arms together just because we need an X on both sides for this little kind of tow bar piece, but that is the moon. Absolutely love that. So that just fits onto there. And then onto the bit that's sticking out the top, we add a little blue dot being our little blue planet, which is lovely as well because it looks blue from a great distance away when you're at the moon, for example, if you've never been. Hey! And then you've got the wonderful working motion of the moon revolving around the Earth and the Earth and moon system revolving around the sun. And that looks absolutely great. I wonder if it's accurate. So we've got a month for each moon rotation. So that's sort of 1, 2, 3... No, 4. Okay, so we've got 4 months in a year as this is going, but it's not accurate. It's not to scale either. This isn't to scale either. So I guess that's still fun, but that is really good. Now, this thing's going to stick out the back of the floor. So I think I'll have to have it in that position if I'm going to have it as a facade. But that's brilliant anyway, because then you'll be able to see all of the constituent parts in situ. So yeah, I like that. I think that's brilliant. I really wanted to include that in my build for that play feature because it's just... well, it's quite addictive. I really like it. Probably more than I should. But anyway, right, let's get on with the top floor. And we'll put on some blue bricks first. And then our walls. I don't know if I've got a panel sticker left for this floor, but maybe it's, all lit up on the orrery and it's sort of in darkness usually or something like that. So that won't be so much of a problem. Continue on the pillar that's got the Space Academy sign on, though no more stickers to put on that, but it will continue up. I think it's very pretty, this building. Then we've got our glitter bricks. Yes. And our purple. Brilliant. And then, oh golly, we need some more dark blue ones, don't we, for the top? Got a 6 and a 6. And a 2, presumably somewhere. Oh, there we go. Looking good. Oh, and then we can put our orrery in position. Something like there. And then will that spin round? No, that hits the wall. Will it go in the middle of that panel? No. So you'll have to go right on the edge if we wanted it to spin. Then it will work, but that's not going to go against the facade. So I'm just going to put it a little bit more in so we can see it right in the middle then, in which case, middle of that join of the windows. Yeah, so you can kind of see it a bit in motion there. So there we go. That is looking rather nice. I'm going to have, well, practically nothing else in there. Maybe I'll have some space rocks. So I've just got a presentation of those. Or maybe we'll put them against this wall. Yeah, maybe move the orrery a bit towards one side, actually, give us a bit of space. And another one. There's all sorts of different variations of these kind of geode rocks, and they're very interesting and gorgeous looking. I'm thinking in my old town of having kind of a geode shop. You know, when you've got the New Age crystal type shop with the people who believe in that sort of stuff. You know, and given there's loads of different ones, it make a really good window dressing, I think. So yeah, my camera's not quite high enough, but you'll just be able to see me putting on the section of roof before we go even higher with our observatory. So what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 floors at the moment, and that'll be rooftop as well. But that looks great. Maybe I'll have it actually in the other orientation so we can see the Earth and Moon a bit more easily. About a bit difficult to. Oh, I've lost the sun now. Don't worry, I caught it. I got it. Crisis averted. There we go. How about that? Does that look a bit better? There we go. We can see all three through the window there. Even more stars. I do think I want some of these stickers up here or something like that as a good contrast. But wow, that looks so smart. I've tidied up the side profiles a little bit when I've been going to make sure we've just got this regular band of dark blue only and a thin one for the floors on that side as well. So it's nice and tidy. Looks good from absolutely every angle. And yeah, I think the question has been answered as to whether they look good, because the answer is yes, they do, because we can see them from the side profile as well. So I'll just have to find another use for my 1x2x5 bricks. Perhaps they'll power some sort of space station or something in the future. But there we go. 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, 4 floor, all full of lovely stuff. Maybe we'll have somebody watching that. Maybe it'll be this employee that I took out again. And then we can have, well, maybe we'll have a space suit display somewhere as well. I did hook that out for a reason. And I even got a modern robot from that recent space series as well to put somewhere, though. Yeah, maybe that needs to be in the museum floor. I've taken away his mashed potato and whisk from the Mash Make Smash advert. Wow, this thing's getting really tall. So anyway, yeah, I've stuck all the rest of those star stickers on, and I think that looks very shiny and very spacey. Wow, that looks great, doesn't it? That's a contender for best 3D sign in my city almost. I have got quite a few to compete with it, but it does look very good indeed. Yeah, I think the extra height really is appropriate for this build. It just I don't know, feels a better proportion when it's got one more floor on it. A bigger section of purple as well. So yeah, I've added the spacesuit to the inside. I think I'm going to keep my little space robot for a different scene because he's going to get lost in this. I've used virtually all of my gifted 1x1 glitter bricks in the windows. And yeah, I've added another person down the bottom just to make use of them. So we've got our top section to finish off, and we're just going to round that back off using the same curved bricks. So it sort of finishes that quasi Art Deco sort of pillar. Ooh, like that. Very nice indeed. Love that shape. Yeah, must use that again. And that is a place for a turntable where we can put a nice big grey dish from the original set, and another turntable with a slightly different dish configuration on for another communications dish there. The fact that one probably gets in the way of the other, I'm not too worried about because, well, it's all good fun. Then we've got our original build sort of casing for the observation telescope, and I've changed the colour because it was blue before and I thought it looked a bit weird, and it had stickers on, and I just thought it'd be really nice having it white and continuing on this dark blue sort of white type cross section. I think that looks really good. And then on the inside of this we've got a great big turntable base because that's going to take one of these 6x6 round plates, and we've got another screen on there, so that's probably the last of the stickers that isn't too frenzy or too sort of space shuttle-y. And that's the kind of inner bit that moves freely inside the outer casing to keep out all the unwanted light. Then we've got the telescope itself, which I really like how it comes down to a tiny little point for somebody to look into with their little beady eye, and a nice lens on the other side. So that gets put onto that like there. Yes, that's another cool play feature. And then we just need the dome to kind of encapsulate it. And this has got the 2 opening doors for the telescope. I don't know if it's really very realistic because there's not really room for this to retract for that to close because, well, where would it go? But anyway, we can cope with that. And then we have the back section there as well. So I think when this is in its retracted position, this just becomes a completely sealed dome. It's quite simplistic, but I like it because it gives all of the feel of what you want to see in a very economical space. So that fits in there and turns around, so it kind of works as well. So we've got 3 turny things on the roof for a play feature. But most importantly, ooh, you can't really see it. I think it looks really good. Almost looks like a sort of R2-D2 type droid on the top there. It just needs some legs, doesn't it really? And maybe a tray of drinks. That'd be quite fun. Gives me an idea for a massive robot in the Alien Cantina. But yeah, I think that is the perfect top for a lovely build. So yeah, I'll be able to get it all in shot with the shaky hands cam in a minute. But for now, yeah, you'll have to see it at this weird angle to get it all in, or leaning back or something. But yeah, with that very spacey, sort of dishy, telescopy scene on the top, I think it's the absolute perfect pinnacle for this very space looking building. And that little ground floor in the light blue, I think, is a good contrast. And I could even add another one. If I did want to do this as a facade against the wall in an area that's less visible, I could just pump it up by putting some more bright blue kind of floors underneath to get it so we can see that visible sign. But I think it's lovely. I think we probably want this somewhere a lot more prominent, somewhere actually in the city, so we can enjoy it rather than pressed up against the wall. But do tell me what you think. I think that is taking a all right friend set for as far as they go, but taking it literally to the next level with another level, but also with keeping all the good stuff like this and the sign, but adding a load of detail to the outside and inside to make it much improved. And that orrery and our Professor Madcap and the nice museum floor with the space fan and the nice reception as well, where they're greeting you for your visit. So yeah, that looks absolutely great. I love it. Cool. Ho ho ho, look at that. That looks very good indeed, if you ask me, on Shaky Hands Cam. Anyway, I can really fit it all in shot on the build desk because of its height. But I think that height is much improved on the proportions of the set, like I said. And that dome on top, oh yes, it looks absolutely great. And caked in all these glittery stars, of course, which the instructions say to use a few of, but not all of them. Obviously, I've used all of them because I'm sticker crazy. But yeah, they actually say to put some on the lower windows, but I think it's all better on that dark purple kind of space backdrop. Wow, with my stickers and all those glitter bricks, it is an absolute picture. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And the gold detail on the sort of rim of the dome and on the hose pieces a bit further down. Oh yes, that is a very cool 3D sign. One of my favourites. That was well worth copying, well worth bringing into the city. And then we've got the final bit of star detail down here, which is very insignificant by contrast with all the others. But yeah, I still think it was a nice thing to be able to incorporate. So yeah, absolutely love that. And let's flip this thing around. And we've got loads of going on. So if this is flanking a standing hole and we're able to peer into the back of it, it'll be something that's quite enjoyable to look at with the satellite and the rocket and the microbes and the drill, and the screens in there, the rocket plans, all the nebula pictures, Professor Madcap and his desk, and the orrery that is strangely addictive to play with the spacesuit and the geodes. Absolutely packed and stacked. And then there's a sort of semi-functional observatory on the roof as well with all these dishes. It's a bit wobbly on the top. All 3 of those things wobble a bit, so we don't want an earthquake or we'll have a right racket going on. But yeah, it is. It's just got some really clean lines. Really clean sort of Art Deco lines around it. And yeah, curves mixed with straights. Yeah, I absolutely love that. But do tell me what you think, or whether you think it should be a facade, or whether you should think it should be a flanker for the standing hole, probably the second one or something like that. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, if there's any way I can improve it or something I should add, like my little mash make smash robot there. So anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego builds. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a haul on Wednesday. And if you want to send something into the channel, you can to the usual address. Mark it £30, euros or dollars, and it will fly straight through customs to me. And then on Monday, we'll be doing another build. Goodness knows what. I didn't plan this until I got those glittery bricks, and it inspired me to pick it up. Yeah, maybe something will inspire me to do a different build, or maybe we'll just get on with some general city work. Who knows? But whatever we do, I'm sure it'll be great fun. So, until all of that, see you! Yeah, that is a cool sign.